Hey, Jonathan.
Hi, Jen. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Fine. Good enough.
You're getting by, are you?
Yeah.
I hear you. It's a loaded question when people ask me.
I know, but I know it is. When you
Right.
know and you're with someone in the exact, potentially same answer, same psychological state.
Yep.
We'll work with Paul. I know Paul's joining.
Is he? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Yeah, it's been a time for sure.
Are you taking any additional time off?
Not until August.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I can already feel like I'm counting down. Like, okay, 30 days from now, I'm going to be on vacation.
I can't imagine with you guys with all the, the split, non-split, all that stuff. Like Paul, I can't. In fact, he's forming complete sentences is amazing.
I did wake up this morning and say I'm getting too old for this. I can't do any more of these, but I just try to keep in perspective. There are people that are in worse positions and crazy or busy, and so, but yes. But quick question. Hey, were we able to get that cost center for Greece?
You know, it's funny. I just wrote that down to make sure that's done. I apologize. I will get that done.
Okay.
It's submitted today. I have another one for, so I'll get both of those done today or submitted.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, Gert pinged me this morning and wanted to know where we were with it. I said,
Yeah.
I'll follow up, but yeah. So I get it.
Let's see. I see Paul's now. Let me ping him.
Mike should be joining too. I haven't.
Oh, I thought. Okay.
Oh, was he not?
Oh, I don't know whether.
Oh. Yeah. Hey, Mike.
Hi there.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
I'm just pinging Paul now. Hi, Mike.
Hey, so Jonathan, I know we chatted earlier with Paul, and I'm not sure if we ended up overlapping the purpose of this call, and maybe it's just a matter of us waiting for you guys to finish some of the reporting that you were pulling together.
You know, I was wondering that, but obviously I was joining this call either way. So
Yeah.
But if that's
let me pull Jen up to speed and make sure that we're all on the same page. So what had happened is quite some time ago, Jen had pulled together a spreadsheet that included salary information of all the people in my organization and their performance data. And I had asked her recently to refresh that, not realizing, number one, how much manual work it is to do. So thanks, Jen, for jumping through all of those hoops to do that. And then, so when she did that, I started evaluating the data, and really what's driving this is a lot of the EY engagements that I'm in the middle of right now.
Sure, of course.
And as I was compiling it, Jen, not all the salary information was in USD, so I had converted it, and then you and I had been discussing the number that I was coming up with and whether that seemed accurate or not. I thought it maybe seemed a little bit low, and in fact, I think since the last time we chatted, I found a currency conversion error in what I had done, and it's brought the number even a little bit lower. So that the number that I'm looking at is 26.1 million. But then when I met with Jonathan and Paul earlier today, just as a sort of ballpark, we plugged in 20% for the other payroll items in addition to salary, and that put us at 32.6. And we all kind of thought, all right, that seems about maybe where it should be. But Paul and Jonathan are also working from their perspective, from the finance data, to come up with a revised way of looking at the data so that we can reconcile the two. I think the biggest challenge right now is that we end up looking at apples and oranges in terms of the people, because the number that I had in the list that you sent me was, I think, 310, and the initial poll from the finance side was still, Paul and Jonathan, keep me honest here, what was the number you guys had, like 257 or something?
I think it was 275. Yeah.
279.
Hi, Paul.
And it's only, Jen, that's only functional area service. It's not Collins R&D team. And it does not include the folks that are in like North America gaming.
Okay, which would be Danya's team.
Which would be, like Kim Cole and those guys, right?
Oh, okay. So you're at 279.
Yep. For functional area service.
Paul, I know we were sort of looking at the different numbers or fields that were in Jen's extract, and just out of curiosity, I just added financial hierarchy 7 as a filter and took out the APAC R&D Advantage Club, and that taking that out gets me down to 289.
And then the other 10 people must be like Kim's group, right?
Probably, yeah. I mean, if I go by supervisor, and let me take Kim out. Oops, what's happening? So taking Kim out goes from 289 down to 283. And
who's
would
Kim?
it be Danya, maybe?
Yeah, I was going to say, who's Kim? Does she report to Danya?
Yep.
Yeah.
So then take Danya out
Monica,
too.
maybe? I'm afraid if I take Danya out, though, it's going to take too many. But let me try. What about Monica Himes? Because let me try that. That gets me to 281. And what was the number you had? 278?
279.
So we're close.
So I only have 5 people in Danya's.
But
Danya.
But Jen, what's your date of your report? Ours is the end of May.
I believe mine was the end of June. No, it would have been the end of May too. Sorry, Paul. Yeah. I don't even know what month it is.
Yeah, the weird thing, too, is that I'm looking at... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask, what was the number when you took out Collins R&D team? What was your number? 280 what?
If I only take out Collins R&D team, I'm at 289.
And then Danya's 5. That brings you to 284, and then Kim's another
Well,
6.
no, Kim rolls up under Danya. So I think Danya's team in total is close to 30.
Nope, I only have 6 on Kim Cole's team, and then I have 5 on Danya's team. That would bring you to 278.
You know what? I can't. Let me see if I can get into success factors. I've been having problems getting into success factors.
Into People Center?
Yeah. Well,
it's locked, so nobody can access it now. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty certain that Danya's team. Okay, hold on. Do I have? I think I've got director in here.
Well, do you want to do it by organization? Because I got it by org. Like casino admin is 4, American Services is 156.
I'm showing Danya at 35.
Well, I don't have it by supervisor, Mark. I just have it by that financial hierarchy. And what level is that, Jen? Where it goes America Services, EMEA, LATAM, Ops.
That is level, and I will tell you. That's going to be level 6. Financial hierarchy, level 6.
Let me pull it in by level 6 then. Yeah, okay, so I have America's Services, 25 people under Danya. Let me pull the names.
So hang on, Mike. Can you share your screen?
Yes, sir. If I can find you guys.
I have 169 in America's Services.
I have 156, Jen.
That may be true, but I'm saying I'm filtering by director and then financial hierarchy 6.
Yeah, I wouldn't even worry about who they report to. We can just reconcile that way and make you feel that way we're on the same page.
All right, so let me flip it around. So in America's Services, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got 70 under Jeff, 1 under Matt, 25 under Danya. I've got some under Colin still, Carol, and then those that report direct to me.
Do you have functional area in this thing? No.
I don't think so. No.
All right. Okay. Well, Mike, when we run our report, then what we'll do is we'll run it for all functional areas instead of just service. That way it'll get you better where you're at. And because like for America's Services, I don't know, Jen, I got 156 as at the end of May. And you're showing 169 here. So I don't know what that difference is. APAC is what, 59? Is that report? And I got
that's without the R&D. Yeah.
I got 60. So there's one difference there. EMEA 19. I got 19. Woohoo! Celebrate up when you can. PMO is 4. I got that. Operations I got is 16, which I would imagine would be global customer services, interactive.
Yep.
Oh, you know what? The R&D Advantage, the 1 and the 59 APAC services go together, so that's 60. So that works.
Who's the R&D Advantage one?
I have no idea who that is.
Colin?
See.
Unless that's Colin himself.
Nope, that's Monica
This
Pine.
is Monica. Yeah, and Monica does roll up under Danya.
So that's 60 for APAC.
Wait, but she's not in APAC.
I know, but it's shit. Oh.
She's in cost center 106837.
Yeah, but I don't know.
She rolls up under the U.S. Advantage side. In fact, she's probably going to get moved over.
Okay. Well, anyway,
I think Paul, I think just some background on that was she was initially under Rochelle.
I know she was.
And so when we moved her to Mike,
Is
we had to give her
What's her cost center, Jen?
106,837. We moved her out of one.
Oh, the rest of it. Do you have the rest of it? Like the financial mapping?
It's 106,837,1010.
She's in cost of service. Okay.
Is that in the report that you gave me, Jen? What you just mentioned?
Yep.
What's it called?
It's column S is the finance cost center, 106,837,1010. And then her
Is that-
financial hierarchy 6 is in column W, which is R&D advantage.
What's that called though? You say column W? Oh yeah. Okay, financial. Okay, that. All right. So that's what I've got it categorized as here. Okay. But you were talking about the cost center, and then Paul asked you for a clarification. What was that?
What was so I initially rattled off just her cost center code.
Yeah.
And he asked me for the functional cost center, which is the 1010, which
Is that in here? The functional?
it's column S.
Yes. Mapped cost center code. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that helpful to have that view?
Did we lose finance?
I'm still.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
It's like we lost Paul.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
I was just reading about the 401k update. Sorry.
Oh, what is the update? Do we have?
Do we have access yet?
The update is that Fidelity's going through their audit. They ran into an issue with the report earlier. That's what took a little longer. And now they're reconciling loan balances, and that it's taking a little longer than what they expected.
Okay.
And so they asked if we wanted to go live now, but restrict the loans and withdrawals until the audit's fully completed tonight. And Russ went back and said, keep it going. We'd rather be all in than not.
Got it. But our money's still trading today, even though we don't have visibility to it, right?
It's not, Jen. No, I'm teasing you. Of course it is.
Oh my God. I thought you were serious.
No, of course it is.
Okay.
It's just that they're auditing the beginning balance of the day.
Okay.
For the ending from last night.
Okay.
Your money is still there. Don't worry. Won't have to work till you're 85. Don't worry.
Oh, that's scary.
I might just for the fun of it, but
I don't know, Paul. Okay.
I'm trying to log into BPC now. We'll see what happens. Okay.
I was able to get. Actually, I had to
know you were
reboot,
having
but
trouble.
looks like they're normal again.
I don't know if that map cost center is helpful, but
I think it will be.
so just a more, I guess, a broader question is, what do we do differently, if anything, to try and keep the finance and the PT systems in sync? so that we don't end up in this situation? Like, is there something that we haven't been doing on my side to make sure that they stay in sync?
The issue is KPMG is running into this same issue. You can have people in one cost center you can have people in a single cost center that have multiple managers. In other words, it may be like 3 different managers for people in a cost center. Not for an individual, but for the population mix. So Mike, in your world, you're thinking, I want to follow the money through the managers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I've got you've got Danya who's a manager, but they have people in different organizations. And the issue was with North America, that the finance team, not me, the finance team of North America said, hey, since you're going to be charging me back for all of those costs anyway, why am I moving this? So how can you do it separately? I think the answer is we can write some offline reports for those cost centers that are in other organizations that report to you, but I can't run a standard report. Might that make sense? Or am I just
and that ties into what we were talking about earlier today.
Yeah, so in other words, we would have to write a report and said, okay, grab all the casino systems delivery team and then go grab these 3 other cost centers in this other organization that's where Sean Sauter's sitting.
Right.
And then you've got the complexity of functional area, which in your mind, you're like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Like, all my people are my people. What do you mean I've got like different flavors of what they support? And that was my bad when I had Jason run some data this morning. And I'm trying to redo it right now so that I can give you an updated like all functional area that would show with Colin in it.
Okay.
And I should be done with that in like 10 minutes.
The other situation, Mike, where P&T data may not match finance data is Paul runs his reports at the end of the month. And if we change cost centers for people, my data is supposed to be real time. So if we make a cost center change for somebody mid-month, finance doesn't get that till the next month.
Right. Okay.
And
yeah, that's understandable.
And if you backdate it, Jen, remember when I was in HR, I would have a hissy fit every time you guys it won't show up in the history. It won't change the past.
Yeah.
So I lost my train of thought.
You said so.
Well, I think what we need to do is just wait, Paul, for the revised report that you're working on,
Okay.
and then we can reconcile.
Right.
To at least understand it, you know.
Let me
At the
share
end of
my.
the day, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go. Keep going.
I was going to say, at the end of the day, you know, I'm really just after verifying that the 26.1 or 32.6 are accurate.
Yeah. So let me share my screen, and I'll show
Okay.
Jen what we're talking about. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
So Jen, remember we ran into this issue last year specifically on R&D, right?
Yep.
And what we're seeing here is that this is service, and the cost per head for the first 5 months is running at call it $110,000, and the budget was 100,000. So that made us start thinking about, well, what are the dynamics? Well, one is that we know, like in Latin America, the Argentina folks could be driving part of that differential because of the hyperinflation.
Yep.
Possibly. And then, but if you can see, like in America Services, they're up almost $4,000 a head. And what has there been a lot of cascading that's been going on in casino systems delivery?
Yep.
That's what my suspicion was. And
So just one caveat to that, though, that we talked about earlier. Even when we've done the cascading, though, Jen, we've definitely tried to only do it when there were still net savings to be gained, right? That's the part that I'm not able to reconcile in my mind, is we've just been so focused on trying to save money to then see that these numbers are higher than what was budgeted is surprising.
now, again, this is a budget, right? So, for example, Mike may not be in the numbers and Danya's not in the numbers. But then again, it's not, in my mind, it's not enough to skew every single organization.
Exactly. The fact that they're all off in a bad direction is, I don't know, there's more going on here for sure. It's something else that we got to figure out.
So, Jen, go ahead, Mike, sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, I mean, if you take one that's pretty isolated, I think we were talking about Europe earlier today.
Yep.
I just can't wrap my head around how Europe, because there hasn't been a lot of cascading going on. The backfills that have happened, we've again tried to backfill in less expensive locations, and to see that the budget was for 20 at a cost per head of 79, and we're tracking less than that in terms of head count, but 7,000 per head count higher is just, it just doesn't add up to me.
Jen, how was the merit compared to what we were expecting?
I think Merritt, Mike was pretty close to budget, if not on budget.
But what was budget? It was the budget that was set by P&T. It may be a different number than what we had in the financial.
I think it was 2.5%.
Which might be greater than
what you had.
Yep. So
And
that
that still means across the board, right?
The other thing that might be impacting this a little bit is the conversion rates.
yeah,
because-
we talked about that earlier.
Yeah, and Mike, that one for EMEA, that would be our South Africa folks, where we just did the promotion for Gerhard, and the conversion rate might have been what we did for conversion might be different than the conversion rate that finance uses.
Yeah, I mean that one adjustment that we made though, I don't remember how much it was. Maybe
It
I
was
have
about
that.
7,000, I thought.
Right.
Let me try this. Let me try something here. Hang on.
But Jen, that 7,000 that we saw was an average, right? I mean, that's 7,000 per head, not 7,000 total.
Hang on, I'm going to try something.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to try this at budget rates to see what it is.
That's a lot though.
Hang on for a second. Hang on. Don't want to screw up my format here. Not going to change it that much. Are you kidding me? EMEA got better by a little bit, Mike.
But
And this got worse.
I mean, 12,000 per head in Latin
Yeah.
America.
When we go to do this thing, we'll do it by country.
yeah, but the company, to Paul's point, I think that will help at least narrow down by looking at a company code, which is essentially the country. Because we'll be able, like with the EMEA one with what Jen was talking about with, was it South Africa? Like you'll be able to see that isolated out.
Paul,
Okay.
well, yeah, I don't know when the country benefits change, but sometimes there's changes to the benefit, so the benefit cost, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
Which is out of our control, and
But at least we can narrow down on that.
so would that also impact, like, if we look at South Africa where we did a promotion, would that increase the benefit rate as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Here was the 2025 rates. Okay, so what we had assumed was that's the issue. You said 2.5%. The financial plan only had 2% for the U.S.
Yeah.
Right? So that's part of the difference. It's driving that. Look at this.
So that's a
Only
pretty-
one. Right? So since most of your people are in the U.S., that's going to be a big differential, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay. Canada, 1.89%. Yeah, I don't think you have anyone in Canada.
Seven,
Well,
seven, seven people.
The other big hub where you have people is where?
Let me look by country. Hold on.
Probably Australia.
Yeah, Australia for sure. I've got 28 in Australia.
This was 1.7, but then which hasn't happened yet, which in July they're getting another piece, but we're only looking at actual, so I don't know what they got there. But I think that's part of the issue too, is what people got for their merit.
Yeah.
Because you said you budgeted what, 3?
I think Jen's 2.5, right, Jen?
Yeah, I thought that our budget was 2.5.
But the delta between what was in the financial plan and what PT budgeted was 0.5%. Is that right?
We call it that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fair amount of money.
But
so
you got to put benefit on top of that at 21%.
Okay, well, let's take a look at what you guys come up with.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at absolute dollars, right? Absolute dollars right now versus the budget, you're over by 300,000 year to date. As you start to move people to lower cost locations, that differential should decrease. But if you're looking at the KPI, how much you're paying people, that's what this is.
Right.
And so, Jen, that's the annualized number that we look at.
Okay.
You know, like we did. Remember when we were running into problems in R&D?
Yep.
The year before last.
Yep.
Here's the good news, Mike. No one's asking for that number.
Yeah.
All they're asking about is what's your net number. There hasn't been a deep dive at all on any of the accounts. Right?
Right.
So.
Well, look, when you guys get your data extract and it's down to the individual level, I definitely want to merge that with what I have from Jen and just, identify where we've got some differences, because I got to understand this. It's going to drive me crazy if I don't understand it.
Well, we can run a report. We can run a report that has everybody by name.
Okay. So
Right.
if we give you the names that are in Jen's report, you could pull that list.
No, I could just run my report right here. Just run
But
this report.
it won't have comp.
It won't have comp. It'll just say, in this cost center, these are the people. I think I showed it to you before, Mike. And then if you had a cost center with one person, it won't name the person. You'll have to say, oh, I know who that person is. So if I said, okay, what's my 2025 May head count, I'll pick a small group, I guess. We'll do EMEA services, okay? Oh, which is like 20, right?
Yep.
Then I can change this to be May, April, March, February. These are the people that are listed in. Now it's saying 19. I don't know why I got a disconnect.
I think that's what I had too, 19 in Europe.
Oh, because I was looking, no, my number was I think that was the average. Okay. 18 was the average.
I'm showing 19 though. Let me just pull the name in real quick.
Oh, I got 19. I got 19. This was,
Yeah.
this 18 is average. And if I come here, there's the 19.
EMEA, you pulled EMEA, right?
Yeah. So we can give you a list of this, and it has like all their supervisors.
Yeah, I mean, this would be good for me to at least identify. What I could do is filter the list I have from Jen down to the same names that you have, and then we can compare those numbers and see how they map. But you've got, can you change the order and put them in alphabetical order?
No.
Okay. All right.
Now, just so you know, Mike, I send that data, so Jamie and Otto get that too. So they can there's a pivot. You can pivot off it. And the only other thing I want to note on this is that, for instance, EMEA Services has at least 2 different companies, I think 3. So it wouldn't, we'd want, if we were looking at a list by, say, the EMEA Services and then by dividing by payroll, you'd want to look at it by the company.
But here's the other thing, Jonathan. You see this employee here?
Yeah.
The guy's in one cost center. My list the list that we give you will not have their name because of privacy issues.
Right. Yep. But you will be able to get a better handle on the cost average.
And this person right here, I can tell you, is in Poland. You see this 4,500? That person's in Poland.
Yeah. And that person actually rolls under Anya.
And then this director here is Gert, because this guy's in Austria.
Right.
Part of the challenge, Mike, with Danya, with that project manager, is there a services job, and you don't have a services cost center in Warsaw. So rather than create a new cost center for one person, we put them in this one.
I thought we did create cost centers.
But Jonathan, you're already sending this list off to Otto,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, and it shows the coming and goings by month too.
All right, so you guys are still working on a report for me though, right?
Yeah, we're going to work on a report from you that's similar to this.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we can always fold in that list that Jonathan gives to Otto.
Okay. And where are these dollars coming from? Is this coming from BPC?
All of the information we have comes from BPC.
So I think we built some pivots out of that data too that might be helpful. In fact, I think we were looking at the non-payroll version of that, but I can get to the payroll data there too.
Yeah, that's how it started, right? That's how I made my comment that I said, "Oh, you're not looking at payroll and benefits. I think you're running over on that."
Yeah, they have that data. They just take it out in the version that we were looking at.
Yeah.
But maybe that's an easier way to do it, because I think that's already got the PT data.
Maybe it is. Maybe we should maybe we should just meet with Matt. Talk to Matt.
Yeah, let me look into that.
Okay.
Matt's on vacation this week, but I can ask Carlos too.
Okay. All right.
All right, guys.
All right.
That's
Thank you.
all right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.